Hi, Soul Family. So, if you're like me and you used to describe yourself as someone who is an empath, I say used to because if you're on my channel, we're working out of the path of attachment, right? We're working away from constructs because we don't want to attach ourselves to here. Uh, we to circumstances and to identities. We're beyond labels. We're beyond constructs. We're beyond time. Um, But anyway, either way, if you're very sensitive to energy like me, on this journey of awakening, and when you have to be around people, it could be really difficult, right? Because when we're creating new narratives for ourselves, like let's say we're breaking patterns of lack, so we're really paying close attention to every thought, to every feeling, and then we're rewiring it. That takes great mental energy, and it takes great solitude. I'm in a position where I've been around family and I can see how much I've outgrown the conditioning, which is wonderful. But for a long time, it's like there's been a resistance to just being present and like allowing myself to enjoy where I am now. And that's a huge key to manifestation, is enjoying where we are now, knowing that everything's perfect, right? And so when I hold this tension, I notice that closes my heart space, and then that presents another challenge because, again, in manifestation, when we're creating our own realities, we need the heart space open. And so I'm learning to relax in the presence of people. And I'm a Virgo, so I am a hermit, but I'm also a hermit. Like, I love being alone. But naturally, after we awaken and with our gifts and talents, we will be called to integrate ourselves into society again. And so I just wanted to share what I have found helpful to help me remember to be of service, to be of value to others, instead of kind of putting up a protective barrier because I'd be afraid of absorbing their energies or afraid of absorbing their narratives again. Like being afraid of their thoughts depositing into mine after all the hard work I've done, right? After all the rewiring and everything. So the first thing is I always make sure every morning that I enter a state of abundance and joy. And I do that by making sure my heart chakra, I will almost feel it burst open. I'm like, okay, now I can start doing things. Now I can start my daily tasks. Now I can interact with people. So it's like instead of coffee, it's the meditation, it's the sitting alone. And if there's blockages, it might take more than one day, it might take more than a few minutes, it might take hours. And it might not happen right away if there's blockages. You might have to cry first, but crying is a good sign that you're opening up your heart chakra, so don't be discouraged. And the more frequently you're doing it, even if you're just sitting there, you're allowing yourself to be still and you're allowing everything to come up, okay? But so that's the first thing I do, is sit quietly until my heart chakra feels like it is bursting with joy, childlike joy and abundance and excitement, okay? I'm like, okay, now I can do this. And I practice holding that space throughout the day with my intention of I'm living my dream life, and I have a very clear picture of what that looks like, visibly around me, as well as, right down to where I'm living, to what my life looks like, to the work I'm doing, to how I'm making my money, So I'm holding all these things in my mind and I'm feeling it and I'm visualizing it. And I do that in the morning. And at night, I visualize my reality as well, and again with those feelings. But sometimes I get too excited and I can't sleep. I've seen someone else say that on other videos, and I totally understand that. So I always at least do it in the morning. When we operate in this state, we can relax a bit because we're there, like it's done, we're there. And then it's kind of like, okay, how can I how can I be of service to others? And I've finally opened myself up to this again, because for so long I felt like I just had to protect my heart from people. I'm sure you've been there too, especially as we're healing and knowing we're sensitive. You know, it's like you don't want to keep your heart open because you're so sensitive, you feel everything. Well, when you get to this point of being in command of your frequency, you don't have to be afraid of feeling anymore. Because although things might come up and you might feel like, ooh, that didn't sit right, you'll be so skilled at just tweaking it. It's just a matter of sitting and listening to the heart, and you'll hear the thoughts that are creating the blockage. And then you just reassert your thoughts and you say, okay, no, I break that agreement. This is actually the truth. You know, and you override any programming you find. And because you're at this level of awareness now where everything's cracked wide open, you're going to see it. So we don't have to be afraid of being overly present. I could say overly available to people, you know. Today I listened to people's conversations and there was definitely lack in the conversation. The person was coming from, you know, limitation, not abundance, right? Not love. There was judgment and conversations and stuff. And as I'm listening to it, I detect it with my mind, but I don't have to interact or engage with that anymore because I'm aware of it. So I just have to worry about my resonance. So I only focus on my resonance. And because I can detect what that is in the other person, I can know that I'm separate from it. Does that make sense? I'm separate from the lack. I don't have to worry about it permeating my heart or mind at all. And I found that instead of having this tension and this resistance to being present with someone because they weren't on the same quote unquote frequency as me, not quote unquote, it is, they weren't on the same frequency as me, right? I just allowed my heart to be open and just started like, I just looked them in the eyes and just, you know, appreciated them and enjoyed them as they're talking. And so you're not even focusing on the words so much, you're focusing on enjoying the human in front of you, appreciating their differences. And I found this has helped me too. Even if someone, let's say they say something that is so, you're like, like you notice they say something about money or something about someone else that is just, you're like, wow, that's not love or that's not abundance. You know, instead of completely writing the conversation off or something or walking away, right? Because we can't live in caves forever. We can't live in our rooms forever. We can't be hermits forever. If you just say, oh, that's funny. That's funny that you say that. I think that's funny. Or you're so funny. Or that's so interesting. That's what I'll do now. So just looking at things when they happen differently, that's not a threat to my abundance. It's not a threat. The differences are no longer a threat to my prosperity or to my abundance or to my new level of joy. You know, so I hope this helps you. You know, and to live in that such a trusting way in our new embodiment, in our new life we've created for ourselves inside of us. We can trust that. We can trust it. We can trust that it is permanent. And so I just wanted to give you that today. I hope this helps you. Because we've come to this creator level, we are free and available now to serve humanity in a whole new way, to be available in a whole new way, where we don't have to even engage. We don't have to engage with people's emotions or with the constructs, right? Just being there, listening, and being present is what changes the world around us, right? So I think you'll see we just become a mirror now, and we let spirit do the work. And just don't underestimate how much of a gift your presence is, and how stable the new foundation you have within you really is when you have this new foundation of abundance, joy, love, and divinity. Okay, so I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if it did, share if you think it will help someone, and I just appreciate you being here. Thank you.